Welcome back to the channel, guys. This week we're having a look at some Theraphosa. This week we have two rehouses of a blondie and an apophysis, or the apophysis depending on how you pronounce it, and we have a special little look at our larger guy, our sturmi. So we're going to start off by rehousing the blondie. This is the smallest of the three we've got, and at the moment it's in a bra plast tub, and it's going to be moving into a 5 litre tub. The reason I'm doing this large move straight away is because this thing never ever struggles to find its prey, and because they're so leggy, I like to give them a bit more room than maybe I would with some of the other spiders of a similar size. Normally this sort of spider would be going into a 3 litre and then into a 5 litre as it grows, but the 5 litre will do this one long term. The other advantage I've got with the 5 litre tub is the fact that I can give this a depth of substrate that keeps the humidity high. A good mix of peat moss, vermiculite and topsoil, and just keep the moisture in the soil without keeping it boggy and wet. So we're going to get on to rehousing the blondie now. I'm going to move over to Rehouse Central and we'll get the rehouse done. So in Rehouse Central we've got these two 5 litre tubs. They're quite, as you can see, quite big, nice and deep. We've pre-drilled all the holes in the sides. Haven't made them too large, but I've given them enough ventilation. The lids have also got holes across the top. These ones should provide enough room for these spiders to thrive in. Like I say, at the moment the apophysis is in one that is this big, and as you can see it provides a fair bit more volume, not necessarily footprint, but the volume and the height as well. They've got like about an extra inch of depth on them, so hopefully this will be a better setup for it anyway. Right, so all we're going to do is we've got peat moss and topsoil. We're going to mix some vermiculite in there to hold the humidity, bit of leaf litter on top to keep the humidity into the soil to stop it evaporating. Leaf litter is good for that, and we'll put some cork bark, water bowls and a bit of decoration in there, sphagnum moss mixed into that, and we'll be good to go. So let's get this set up. We'll do both now, and then obviously we've only got to do the rehouses one at a time afterwards. Haven't got the spiders in here with me today because it's a little bit cold outside and I'm leaving them in the spider room. The temperature in here is a little bit lower, so I don't want to be bringing them in here, setting these up. So set these up, move the spider in, do that. So let's just pour some substrate in here without putting it too much all over the ground in here. Peat moss obviously keeps the humidity a little bit better. It's a good draining substrate. This has been mixed about 4 days ago and then brought into the house and left to acclimatise heat wise, because obviously I keep all the dirt outside. Cool bark, a nice piece there, sort of like a cave with a little bit of a feature out the side on here. This one we're going to set in this enclosure. There. Give this a bit of a mix up the back. Okay, so we've got our cork bark in there, nicely done. Bit of lichen on there. Let's go in with some fake plant stuff. Water bowl. Quite a large water bowl for these, just to try and keep that humidity level up a little bit. Large surface area. Going to be better for the spider overall. We'll get that in there like that. And then to finish this one off, got some leaf litter. Give the water bowl a fill. Finally, a little bit of moss at the top, just giving it something a little bit different over there. Right, that's one. This one here, slightly different pieces of cork bark. What we're going to do with this, the idea I think, we'll sort of make like an archway, something like that, with these two pieces. So we want to get one bit's in there. Maybe actually take that bit out. You want that way? You want it that way? That actually fits better that way there, doesn't it, with the two bits like that? Okay. So we go in. Like that.
Much later.
There you go. A little bit of a cave entrance in there. Something a little bit different. Right. I'm going to put some sphagnum down this side of this. With a little different looking plant. Which the spider will in no doubt just dig out anyway. Going like that, something like that anyway. This one, I've got a slightly different water bowl. This is going to get a bit of a quick wash before I put it in, but these are the made by a company called Goo. They do like desserts, so I'll give this one a quick clean up and then we'll put that in there. Okay, so we have our pot in there. Probably actually going to take those out. Just give the spider a bit more walking room. Right, think it looks okay. It's a good setup. It's like big water bowl in this one. What we'll do is we're going to add some springtails to these setups, and then once we've got the springtails in, we'll add the spiders. Rehouse central, we've got the blondie we're moving in. As you can see, the bra plast, it's a lot smaller. Height wise, hardly any substrate in this one. Depth wise, from now for what it needs. This setup, when you see the spider, you'll see how much bigger this setup really is for it. I'll take the lid off this. I want to be a bit careful with these spiders because they are, even though they get big, they are still extremely fast. What we're going to do is we use a catch cup, try and direct the spider into the cup. This way. You can see, leggy spider. Don't go upside down, just turn you the right way up and see if you'll wander nicely into your new home then. From that, guys, I think you can quite easily see there's an awful lot of room in there for this spider to grow, but at the same time this spider probably will only have a couple of molts before it is filling this enclosure quite adequately. They do put on some serious size between molts, and they do get very leggy very quickly. So that's the blondie, guys. Right, back to the other room. Next up on the list we have the apophysis, the Theraphosa apophysis. This one is slightly larger. It's already in a 3 litre tub, and we're going to be moving it to a 5 litre just so that we can have these two tubs stacked nicely. This is a spider that is, as you can see, slightly larger than the blondie we've just rehoused. But again, I just want to give this one a little bit of room, let them settle down in their slightly larger enclosures, just in case it molts, because again, this one has got some long legs and it needs a little bit more room to move about in. And we have the setup for the apophysis. This one already is in a 3 litre. May not seem like much of a difference. Volume wise, 3 litres, 5 litres, it's got 2 litres of volume more. So yes, it's quite a big change. But what we're going to try and do, we'll see where this apophysis is first of all in its setup. This one can be a little bit flighty, so we don't want to scare this one too much. This one wants to move a little bit, so what we'll do is we're going to make sure we get this one caught up, because I don't really want it bolting They've got a strong feeding response, these spiders. What we don't want it doing is flicking its hairs. This spider is absolutely stunning. Absolutely gorgeous spider. Just the most beautiful markings on its legs. Let's get that old hoe over there a little bit. And we'll see if we can get this one to come down nice and gently. Nice and calm, no flicking, just purposeful movement, and walk it calmly into its new home, which looks like it will have plenty of room to do at least a couple of molts in here and hopefully grow nice and strong. Another smooth rehouse, guys. We're getting very lucky so far with all our rehouses. I think the thing is, if it may not be luck, it might just be the fact that if you're relaxed and calm, the spiders do feed off of your body movement. So hopefully that's how they will continue. Okay, back to the other room again. So those are the 2 rehouses done. What did you think? I think the 5 litre tubs are going to do well for them. The setups are, you know, we could say relatively basic. I wish that I could get some LED lights into this room, something where the plants would actually thrive, because then I'd be able to put some live plants in there. But I think once these spiders start to grow and they get nearer sort of like large juvie sub-adult size, what I will be able to do by then is hopefully have them in some exos with the lighting setups to allow live plants, because I think they'll absolutely benefit from those no end. For now, we've got the sphagnum moss, we've got water, we've got deep substrate, we've got vermiculite in there, and we've got their cork bark hides and a little bit of moss, so they should be fine in those. Right, lastly we have our sturmi. Last year, on the 23rd of January 2023, the sturmi did this. And it went crazy on TikTok, as you probably well know. We currently have that video sitting at something like 31.7 million views. It's got over 119,000 watch hours or something like that. It's absolutely crazy. Don't understand why it went viral, but it did, and it's going to be very, very difficult to beat that. However, sitting here last night, I was looking around the spiders, and I noticed that the sturmi, who hadn't eaten for about 45 days, something like that, and normally when they go on a hunger strike you know things are about to happen, the sturmi was very, very dark and had laid a web mat, and I went back the next morning and it had flipped. So about 9 o'clock in the morning, noticed it on its back, and it wasn't really doing much, wasn't moving. So we set the cameras up and just waited, basically. It didn't start to move until around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening, and probably finished molting around 9 PM, 10 o'clock, something like that. But luckily we managed to get this one on film as well. So let's have a look at that, shall we? Yes, I feel very, very lucky, not only to have caught this amazing beast, molt, the first time for me in my care last year, but to catch it again in January, almost 12 months later, just a few weeks short of a year, molting again. And I was sitting over it watching the whole time, making sure that those legs were coming out, because they're quite long legs to come out. I do think that this one has now matured male. The sturmi and the blondie don't actually get tibial hooks. The apophysis do, but the sturmi and the blondie don't. But looking closely at the pedipalps, I do believe this one has now matured, looking at the emboli and its boxing gloves. I didn't want to mess with it too much, just getting some photos from very long range away with a very long lens, just to not disturb it, but also get a clear picture of what's going on. But yes, that sturmi I think is now a mature male. So bittersweet, but at the end of the day, you know, it's still my pet, and we knew he was a male, so it is what it is. I just will keep feeding them and let them hopefully live a long and hunger-free life. Anyway, those are the 3 spiders, guys, the Theraphosa's. They are beasts. So, what did you think? What did you think about the rehousings, and what do you think about the molts? I think the molts are awesome when you get those time lapses. Absolutely amazing. Nothing special, just time lapse on iPhone, capturing all that footage. So pretty good cameras on those. Anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, guys, please give it a like, consider subscribing if you aren't already, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you have any of the Theraphosa in your collection? If not, which one do you like the most? They sort of, the blondie and the sturmi divide opinions, but I think the apophysis definitely is one to chuck in the mix as well. As far as its beauty goes, they're absolutely stunning, stunning spiders. Have a good one, guys, and we'll catch up with you next week.